and welcome to episode 10 of my Empire Total War Darth mod Mughal Empire campaign. And this, my friends, I did last time, where once again, my friends, we find ourselves here building up the forces here to eliminate Mysore. And I hold my hands up and say that many of you said at the very start of this campaign, Matt, once you've dealt with the Maratha Confederacy, you must immediately take Mysore. And I didn't, my friends, and this is the repercussions of that. And I hold my hands up, it's completely my fault, it's no one else's fault. All of you advise me, you need to take it, man, as quickly as possible, otherwise you're going to get bogged down into a really protracted, sort of long war. And it is proven right. And this is almost like the false war, a phony war, as it were, because we're sort of trading with them, but they sort of know what we're doing, and we know that they know what we're doing. So in other words, we're sort of expending a huge amount of our income here in sort of building up the armies, or enough armies, should I say, powerful enough armies to build a quash and take the Mysoreans out. And of course, if we take the capital here, we'll of course not have to deal with these troops here, but you know, this does bring its own sort of consequence with it, because we're going to have to be dragged into a massive war. As you can see, they are absolutely fully replenished here. They're fully ready to, you know, meet whatever we throw at them. They do have some pretty powerful armies here, and that's what we're trying to get our own armies up to really meet that challenge. You see, this is probably our finest army here under Zulfikar Khan here. Really has been a wonderful general, spearheaded a lot of our sort of military incursions. And we've also taken Ceylon as well, which is bringing 600 here. We do need to update that as quickly as possible. Our research is going actually very well here. We've almost got to quick lime juice and sauerkraut here, which is going to give us naval hospitals, which is definitely going to prove a huge boon to us in the long run. And we do have division of labour, so that does mean we can indeed invest in the commercial ports, because trade really is the absolute sort of, you know, bastion here of our economy. It really is. We do have some very, very strong sort of infrastructure now starting to build up. We're not quite there with the infrastructure. We've got quite a bit of work still to do there in terms of upgrading here, especially with the military academies here. We need to get our military up to a certain decent specification here, and also to really increase our sort of infrastructure as best we can, because remember, India's infrastructure is not of the best to start with. You have to really sort of, you know, plough a huge amount of your income, a huge amount of your funds into that to really do any justice to it. You really do. As you can see, Britain has taken an absolute pounding as well from the Persians. Britain landed here or we gave them, I beg your pardon, Narun Kot here in Sindh, and I believe we also gave them we also gave them Punjab and Lahore here. They decided to launch quite a vigorous, aggressive campaign against Persia, which was met with absolute disaster, to be honest with you. They really has absolutely been crushed by the Persian might here. They held on Persia, and indeed they are actually throwing the British back to the point where we might actually see Britain losing Punjab here. Now, although it's going to Persia, we don't have a problem with that, because it sort of removes the British sort of, not threat because we're allied with Britain, but shall we say the ability that we have to worry about taking, if we declare war against Persia, we're not sort of breaking that alliance with Britain. In fact, Britain will probably look quite well upon us defeating Persia, but in that time they'll probably ask for land, they'll probably threaten us, but in that time we will be ready to meet any challenge from any nation. And as you can see here now, we do have a lot of trade coming in and out now. As you can see here, we've got 36,000 moving in through sort of Bardor here, and especially in Surat. Surat is the main hub here of our entire sort of trade economy. It's just a vast amount of economy. 32,000 coming in here. So we've got 8,465. So we need to do probably is lower the taxes, which we'll have to see if we lowered taxes to a decent amount. No, we can probably lower the tax level here. As you can see here in Orissa, they are not happy with us here at all, but that's probably because of climate reform. Tax burden, which should be reduced now, but our our income has dropped here, but it will allow growth, both economical and also civilian growth as well. So that's going to be a boon for us in the end. But our main aim is to really sort of bring this Mysorean region under control, because look what it brings in. It brings in gem minefields, it's going to bring in a gold mine, even though it's low yield, you know, and also an additional port, Mangalore, eventually, which would be wonderful to see. Does it tell you when Mangalore, Bellary here will be the next town that will be fully ready to expand on its own. And where is Bellari? There it is there. So that'll be next. And what is their growth like? 12, so not too bad at all. And they've got to look at the mining, 4,200 from the mining, so that's why we need that. That's going to would be a huge boost to our economy. But we've also got the additional member of the AUM mod, the additional units mod, and that's going to bring with it not a great deal. I must be honest with you, we don't have a great deal of sort of additional units here for us. But when we get down to Army Council here, we've got Hindu Musketeers, which currently are our best sort of troops, but I beg your pardon, Quilbashi are our best sort of troops at the moment, as you can see here, with actually 1,310. Loading skill not too bad, ammunition of 15, morale not brilliant, but then we have the introduction of the Royal Indian Infantry Guards. Look at that. 44 accuracy, 40 reloading skill, 10 morale. As you can see, the Royal Indian Infantry Guards are the most professional soldiers of the Indian Empire, hardened by arduous training, given the best equipment. So we are definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, they're very expensive, but we will be indeed recruiting these gentlemen as quickly as we possibly can, and as many as we can, because they will form the backbone, unless we're limited of course by a certain number. And if that case, then we'll just have to sort of do the best we can here. We also get some additional, I do beg your pardon, we do actually get some additional lancers as well, because I was looking quite before here. Indian Dakani lancers. Look at that charge bonus, 30, that is devastating, absolutely devastating. And also, Royal Cairo Infantry Guards, look at that, 45, a wonderful sight to see, it really is. So we're going to be, using what we've got available to us. We've also got here the Sikh Warriors, who are excellent in, look at that melee attack here, good defence as well. And we've also got down here Sikh Musketeers as well, which we can use to fill out our ranks. We've got War Elephants, of course. We've got the Royal Indian Cavalry Guards as well, look at that. Absolutely fantastic. So we really are going to be using the best troops we can get here, but of course we need to get to that place. We've got the Military Academy, which is going to give us, already given us, a good amount of troops here. We've got Hindu Musketeers here as well. We've got the Royal we can already recruit those gentlemen. So let's see how much are we limited? Yeah, to 4. So we can only get 4 of them, so they're not going to give us an absolute abundance of them. And of course we're trying as quickly as we can to try and get our arsenal, our cannon foundries up to a reasonable specification, because ultimately what do we want? We want military engineering, and we want 64 pounders, the absolute brutes of the entire world. They are the absolute largest cannon any nation can have. But our main goal is to bring Mysore under control, so we're going to begin that and continue that steady build-up of armies here. We're probably going to bring this army up to full strength, and then we'll probably put another army along this flank here as well. But we'll also be moving in with these two when the time is right. Napsy coming along, we'll probably move these gentlemen probably to around here, and we'll strike with everything we've got here and close that loop, as it were. And also, if Persia does remove Britain in its entirety from here, we don't have a problem with that at all. Not one iota do we have a problem with that, because we are going to eventually launch an attack against Persia. Not yet, because they're still, we don't have a problem with them. As you can see, their empire is vast, but it's the sheer distance you have to travel to get to any sort of any built-up area, as it were. So Afghanistan is probably the closest here, but Lahore would definitely be a real feather in our cap, that would, if we could take that back. And also Sindh here, and bring the borders that once were Indian back into our fold here. Let's have a quick look around here, see what's happening. Of course, the Ottoman Empire, which is, we do have trade with. I do believe we have trade with the Ottomans. Indeed we do. And that, anyway, they're friendly with us. What technology they've got here. I wonder if we can get any of this ship. Ooh. I wonder if we can get any of this ship, because we really want to get our ships up and running here. I think we'll go try and get naval reforms from them. They're probably, no. Looks like we're going to be doing this on our own, which is fine. But you can see the Ottomans are still robustly in charge of the areas they have here. Let's have a look at our trade and see how that is. And of course, we've got East Indies. Just look how much spice that is. I mean, that is absolutely massive, East Indies here. And of course, we've got mostly spice moving out. A lot of other countries want the spice we are able to produce. I wanted to see what we've got with the Ottomans. It's actually via ship, and it's being cut off at the moment, so we don't have any trade coming from them. They're probably being hit here, I'd imagine. Yes, they are. this is being cut off here. So it looks like, yeah, that port there has been hit. That's why. So no trade from the Ottomans. We're having a look what else is going on here. France started to expand. Indeed, they've moved into Amsterdam, so they've taken out their once former foe. It looks like it could be France started to expand quite vigorously. We are allied with Britain. We're at peace with Spain as well. Let's have a look at our holdings here. We do hold the Bahamas, which is excellent to see, it really is. But as you can see, we are at war with France. So that's another thing we've got to keep an eye on, is that as France starts to gain territory, and it is beginning to get a huge amount of territory here, starting to really flex those military muscles that it has. But of course, look at that there, we could actually go for Guyana as well at one point, moving in taking these, because these are staggeringly wealthy regions. These two here really are the absolute linchpin of anything that France has coming out of sort of South America, as it were. We could also look at taking maybe potentially these two pirate islands, but if the pirates are sort of bringing great distress, shall we say, to the French, we don't have a problem with that at all. And the French do have a considerable number of armies here, but again, if we're moving into the Americas here, we're going to have to bring with ourselves not only a decent fleet, but also the armies that can go with that, because we would be attacked quite comprehensively by the French. And of course we do have also we have the trade nodes, East Indies, which we're starting to bring to bear here. Got pirates, look at those fiends there. What have we got here? Galleons. Race-built galleon. I think it looks like we might have to bring in some additional forces into here. Excuse me, my friends. Of course, we've got a good garrison in all of these cities now, just in case things turned a little bit edgy, should I say, with the Persians. But I think Persia is pretty friendly with us at the moment. They're very friendly with us, but we can't get an alliance with them because they're probably allies with one of our foes, probably Georgia or Sweden. But I mean, look at that, that is wonderful to see. Right, let's end the turn. Let's see what comes our way. Britain obviously looking to retaliate, but I don't think they're going to get too far in terms of what they might do, because looks like the pirates are giving France some real grief here. That doesn't bother me in the slightest. Oh, well done, Ottomans, well done, sir. That's more like it, clearing the path. Spain, oh, that's a huge Spanish force there. Poland, will we see that classic clash of France and Poland once again? Because remember, that does happen quite a bit now. Russia is really... they're powering against Sweden there. Oh, well done, Russia. That was nice to see. And we do have strong trade links with Russia, which is, again, excellent to see. Oh. Ooh. They got absolutely thrashed there, but they've got enough forces probably to retake that there. Oh, ooh, Sweden took a bit of a beating there. Persia starting to muster some forces here, but where exactly are they going to be aiming for? Ooh, now that is a... Are they going to go for the British? Oh. That fight there between Persia and Britain has been a real eye-opener, because I thought Britain would crush the Persians, but as you can see, they're probably also being distracted by their war with France, which is drawing a huge, significant amount of their naval power. Venice, Bavaria, Greece. We'll try and establish some trade with Greece. We could... Oh. Ah, excellent. And does that now give us the ability... Bay of Bengal, excellent, I think... Oh, look at that fleet, that is looking excellent there. Gujarat. So Gujarat is seeing an expansion here of the forces indeed. Oh, look at that, wonderful to see there. Ah, oh, So we're going to significantly increase our fleet here, but we're going to quickly scout if can we move our fleet somewhere else that hasn't been taken yet. Nope, we've got that there. And Russia is here. And Spain is here, which is, that's fine. We're going to split the fleet. So in fact we've reached the limit there of this fleet here. Have we done the same here? No, we hope we'll put some more in here. Look at that, 3,312. Will this now complete the full... Oh, it will. 3615 and 3615. So we've actually maximised what we can get out of here now. Ooh, 1388. That has absolutely dropped like a stone there. And why is that? Our trade must be hit by something. Yeah, Austria's been hit. Ottomans have been hit. Sweden's been hit. That's the reason why. But still, gotta try and absorb those costs. And hope that our how's the infrastructure here? We'll have a look at the infrastructure. Make sure that everything has been... No, got copper roads here, so we need metal roads here in Rajputana. Ahmedabad has got metal roads. Definitely could recruit those Royal Indian Guards if we're going to get 4 of them, but they would pack a punch. Wonder if they could join this army here and give it that extra. But we can't at the moment. We just don't simply have the money at the moment. Our trade has dropped. Treasury is looking pretty good at the moment. Do we have a better ministers at all? I don't think we do. I'm not going to try and do that. We're going to have to sort of wait a moment until we have. What we do is increase our tax here, but ideally I'd like to try and get the growth up. $6,579, 13,158 total income here. Ideally, that army upkeep is just absolutely huge. We might have to move in against the Mysoreans without additional forces if the things stay the way they are. I wonder if we can get some more trade coming in. Greece is indifferent. What if we just throw in some technology? Excellent. And what about Hanover? Let's try and do the same here. Give them fire by rank and ring bayonet for trade agreement. Nope. Let's try and increase that. We need to really push for as much as we can here. Trade. Give them all of this. No, not interested. Denmark. Oof. They don't like us at all. But Portugal, will they re-establish trade? We give them those there. Ah, excellent. That's more like it. 4,000 nearly the income there, that's fantastic. All down to trade, which is what we're really counting on at the moment. I just wish the Ottomans would get their act together and get this port here prepared. Because that would open up just a massive amount of trade for us for the Ottomans. But the French here, and look at Poland, they're starting to build that empire of theirs. It's absolutely huge here. Eventually they're going to be bumping into the French before long. Actually Sweden is held on here. Ooh. Simonovsky foot guards, they are wonderful, they are. But this army here took an absolute thrashing from the Swedes. Right, let's end the turn. Wait a minute, Gujarat here. We probably could move these troops from Gujarat and have them move down to here to start with. $1,813. Growth is pretty good here, actually. Any more villages? 32 for Port Bandabar. We need the growth to... Oh, look at that. Industry. It's going to disappear. Tax burden there is really dragging down this region here quite a bit. Actually, the trade has gone down slightly, but anyway, let's end the turn. Let's see what happens here. Britain, ooh, that's a large fleet there. France. Unless we ignore, mind you, I'd like to get the Mysoreans. Oh, marvellous! Now it's going to hurt our trade there. Unless we get Mysore, I'd like to get all of India and the Mughal sort of empire, the immediate amount of the India and the Mughal empire. I know some of it's under Persian control now due to the war with Britain, of course. But I'd like to try and bring what I can, especially Mysore. Good grief, that's a massive fleet there. Ooh. There it is. Oh, they really want that port there. They've got this, that city's going to fall. There's no way that city can hold out there. So Sweden falls. Will that help us with Russia? We might get an increase then in Russian trade. Just keeping an eye on these regions here. We just need to keep an eye on what's going on. So we don't get dragged into any unnecessary wars. Hanover now. Started a little bit brazen here. Don't raid those lines. Portugal. Oh, they're off to Americas. Unless they're coming for us. Sorry about that, my friends. Took a phone call in. Our trade route raided again. Look at that. It's just dropped that down to 1,240. But trade is increasing now, and so is our tax income. We're slowly starting to see the rope. That's only 5,005. Of course, we're so reliant on trade. As soon as Great Britain has been hit, that's why we've lost that. But we do have these now, the craft workshops. Plus 400. Plus 300. So what we're going to do is we're going to upgrade one of these if we get the chance here. $164. Oh, we can't upgrade anything really. We are absolutely treading the very thin line here. What we can do, so I think we're going to have to move against the Mysoreans pretty quickly here. We really have got to move against them. It's going to cost us a huge amount of forces. To that end, I think what we're going to have to do is move these forces around here. We're going to have to really hit them hard with everything we've got. I have absolutely no idea where they're going. All the way around here. Have they gone absolutely stark raving mad? But again, we're sort of on that sort of dare I say, not stagnant path, but we're just on that waiting game. It's taking us a while to get where we need to be here because, of course, money is extremely tight. Of course, we need metal roads here in Kashmir, which again will aid us. Do we have any direct trade here with Britain at all? But that gold mine there, we're missing that gold mine there as well in the Punjab. And look at that, 3989 they've got coming in there. 4741 here for the regional wealth. Absolutely incredible. They took that off us. Which I do. Does Hanover indifferent? Can we get trade with them? I wonder. Let's see if we can throw them some. Nope, they're not really interested there. Plus 13. Let's try that and some additional technology. I know it seems a lot, but we just want to try and get that trade. Is so vital to us. Excellent. And what about Denmark as well? But no, if they're hostile towards us, the chances are it's not going to go well. So 6514. We've got trade with pretty much all the majority of many of the major powers, especially, and also some of the smaller nations as well. But Persia is bringing in a huge amount of trade for us. It really is. 47. The Ottoman Empire is the one that's really the absolute back, and also New Spain. Look at that. 5716. We're doing very well off the back of that. Look at that, 7,230. So you can imagine the outgoings we've got going on here. If we've got that much trade coming in, we're still just about squeezing through every turn. That's the reason why. But mind you, growth is going up here. It's increasing very well. Town wealth is increasing. But keep an eye on these tax rates here, the income here, the income tax, because that's what will prove whether the growth is happening or not. Let's end the term again, my friends, see what happens here. We're going to start moving around to position ourselves to attack the Mysoreans. And also losing Britain as a trading partner there is not going to help us at all. Well done, France. Ah, excellent. Well done, France. You've moved out of there as well. And well done, Spain. And Persia has moved there for some reason, but I'm not sure why. Poland. Russia. Oh, that's a mighty Russian fleet right there. Will they take it? Will they take Sweden? And they have. It's fallen. It's fallen to Russia. Mind you, although sad to see Sweden go, it does mean that Russian sort of economic strength would increase, in which turn we shall also benefit from that as well. Sweden trying to respond. And Persia starting to gather its strength here. Hitting Spain again. They could take it. They could take Punjab. Ooh. Have they spotted what we're doing? Venice looking to not take any chances, any risks at all. Ah, the pirates doing us a favour indirectly there. But they've also hit that port has been damaged. 14,961, that's more like it, sir. 14,378, look at that. Because we've got trade back up again. Barbary States has been hit, but we're not worried about Barbary States. Austria's been hit, again we're not worried about that, per se. But most of these goods are overland here, which is helping us a tremendous amount. And look at that from East Indies. 7,712. 482 pounds of spice. The spice is the actual backbone here of our export business. It really is. So We're going to move these forces around here. A dockyard here. We do need to increase and improve our... Oh, look at that. A spice warehouse there would bring in a huge amount. Now, ideally, we've got 600 from here. That port has been a commercial port there. Not really here, but we have upgraded that one as well. These plantations are costing a huge amount to implement here, but we need to put money into our economy here, and especially this port here. I think we'll do that there. And we'll also do that port there as well, because that's bringing in 600 here. We need to start increasing our trade. Oh, look at that. But the spices here are really bringing in the money here. So what we'll do is we'll bring... Let's have quickly check. We can upgrade the spices here. We can indeed. That's £40 of spices. Spice member is the backbone of our sort of... That I think will go out of our exporting business. We'll go for that there. In Arcot. So in other words, Arcot is vitally important here. We cannot lose Arcot to any potential move if and when we move against the Mysoreans. Oh, wait a minute. Indian infantry mercenaries. They are excellent, I must admit there. We've got this army as well moving down. Military Academy. Oh, quick arsenal here. At the moment we've only got one place we need to get organised procurement here. Then we get 18 pounders here. 2 more turns, and we've got 4 more turns until we've got Coke Blast Furnace, which is going to give us Iron Master's Forge, which will then give us a considerable boost here. We really do need to start. We need to invest in our economy here at the moment while we've got the chance. So that's what we're going to do. Excuse me, my friends. So we're going to do that. That's going to improve town wealth. The rest we'll just hold off on here. 14,378. Look at that. Trade income is just absolutely shot up, and that's starting to go up as well here, which is excellent to see. We need to get that to about 20,000 of tax income. It's going to take a long time, because remember, India's sort of infrastructure and economy was in the doldrums. It wasn't of the best. We've had to really plough so much money, hundreds of thousands of gold into this economy to get it where it is at the moment. And even then it's taking a long time to show any dividends to us here. So, as you can imagine, now we could strike against the Punjab here. But to be honest with you, we want Britain to sort of be leaving us alone. We've got our own issues down here with Mysore, which we're going to move in against pretty soon. Now we've got 2 more armies coming in. That's 4 armies. We've got these gentlemen are going to be put into here. 1, 2, 3. We're up against 4 armies of the Mysoreans as well. So it's going to be a brutal fight. And again, we've got growth here at last, and growth here as well, which is good. But again, the infrastructure here. No, the infrastructure up here needs to be invested in as well. See here in Nagpur, so then that would link Nagpur well with the capital and also the port, because you can see this road runs all the way to the port here. So again, we need to really into Bombay. So we need to get all these roads running, because as you can see also the trade runs from Nagpur here out into sort of the ether, and it moves through into the interior, all along here, out to the port here, and then outwards. And also we've got trade course moving across the lands here with Persia, and everything going from through here. Persian trade is going through Gujarat here, and also in Hindustan is flowing through this way. So this is the real key hub here. This crossroads here is the key to our our income, our trade income. It really is vital that we hold this. Also vital we hold this, because the spices from these regions here are bringing in a massive amount of our trade economy. It really is. That army's pretty big there. We've got this fleet here as well, but ideally we need to get dry dock. That's going to give us some additional forces here. But we are trying to push on past the dry dock. We've got that. We need reformed Navy administration here to be able to get this, which is going to enable us to sort of increase the strength of our fleets. There's a naval hospital there, which is going to give us their first ship of the line there. And their first-rate ship of the line. That's an absolute monster on the seas. That's absolutely huge. So that's what we're aiming for anyway. But again, we've got to prioritise. We've got to build our economy up whilst we can. Once we've got the money, if we invest in our economy, it'll pay dividends in the long run. Let's end the turn, my friends. Oh, Britain's after someone. Ooh. Are they going after Spain there? Whoa, that is going to be a mighty fight there. This is why we keep ourselves out of any sort of fighting abroad at the moment. We're not going to be venturing into foreign lands just yet. Ooh. Oh, they've been sent packing there. Oh, they're finished. Britain is gone. That has really hit the Spanish are going to be vexed about that. Oh, and they're repairing that port. Well done, sir. Well done. Ottomans. Russia. Is Britain going to go for Portugal? Sweden are in the doldrums here. They've taken a real pounding here. 13 colonies. New Spain. Persia. Oh, are they going to finally take the Punjab there? Interesting manoeuvres here. Portugal's going after New Spain, possibly. Oh, 16,000 there. 14,753, so that's gone up. When you're pushing, you need 14,000 here. We do need our income, our trade, our internal income to really start boosting up here. The growth is starting to show dividends here. Oh, look at that. We could actually move this gentleman away from here. We're not really interested in what's going on there, are we, to say, per se. Actually, we could start exploring further abroad here and see what's going on in some of these regions. Look at the trade here. Trade there with the Mughal Empire. And the Ottoman Empire is extensive here. It really is important for us that the Ottomans stay in good health. Any more trade potential here? Nothing at the moment. Our ally with Sweden, so of course they're going to be taking a beating. But are we? We don't have any trade with Russia, which is a shame. Plus they're unfriendly with us as well. Can we help Sweden out here? We're going to be looking for... That's fine, we'll take that. Will that help them in their fight with Russia? We're not sure, but still. Again, we're just keeping out of these fights here. Oh, that is an important trade route there for us. That's an important trade route here, especially through Portugal. But again, we continue our quest here. Tea warehouse, 60 chests. That's a very strong army there. We've got this army then moving into position. What is tea here on the trade? Tea is 20. And is it bringing a lot of in? It's actually bringing quite a bit of money. Of our export is tea, particularly to Great Britain. Great Britain surprisingly does like a lot of tea. Ottoman Empire likes their tea, and New Spain definitely likes the tea. We could invest in that, but we're going to try and put as much as we can into our economy here. We've got a lot of tea here. Ooh. 450 to town wealth, to regional wealth. That's definitely something we need to invest in there. And we're going to try and get these plantations up, because quite clearly we need that. 60 chests there. Metal roads here from... That's in a pretty precarious position at the moment. We just need to make sure we got the internal infrastructure here. Metal roads here in Nagpur. Any other sort of the smaller regions we've ignored. Metal roads here in Ahmednagar. Excuse my pronunciation, my friends, for any of my dodgy pronunciation. Now that's already metal roads here. Metal roads are going well here. Metal roads there in Cuttack. Make sure we got every region is, you know, fully connected here with the centre, which really is vital for our trade now movement. We can actually increase the dry dock here. Now tea is going to be very important to us as well, because that's a huge trade. I don't know about trade, but actually they can move in and strike there. 70 chests there, that's massive. 50 chests there in Hingoli. Here in Banisa, 50 chests. Because this is so close to the actual port here. It's 2,500. 525 to regional wealth. What's the regional wealth at the moment? 1787. That would bring in quite a big boost there to trade. I think what we'll do is increase the port here. We've got 3,000 here. I think infrastructure is, in terms of roads, that's complete. We have actually brought up, apart from here, in... So we're actually going to invest as we promised. We're not going to let down the population at all. So in Kashmir is going to see that boost here in roads. That'll link us to Punjab here. Not that it's doing us any good at the moment, but if Persia comes on stream here, it might increase our trade with Persia. But the border is looking pretty secure here at the moment. What we didn't want was any overspill here from the war with Britain. That's probably our main fleet there. And we're probably going to pounce in against the Mysoreans. Okay. Protector of Knights of St. John, which is fine. Russia, the war with Russia and the pirates. There's going to be an absolute brutal campaign here against the Mysoreans. Look at that there, especially with that number of guns. But what about here? That army there is not the strongest for the garrison. So we'd have to send in a pretty strong army to take on that garrison there, and that is a strong army there. But this is probably one of the armies we'll send in as well. As ooh, that's probably the army we're going to send in here. Muhammad Yang. This will be the last turn, my friends, of this particular episode. I do apologise for the Mughal Empire campaign taking a long time to come back. With one thing and another, my friends, has taken a while, but it's been a lot of you requesting it come back, and I'm glad to bring it back. I have been enjoying it. And after this then will be the USA campaign, and then we're probably going to go have the Knights of St. John. Then we'll have a Russian campaign as well then, which I know has been missing thus far, but I'm just trying to juggle the campaigns around and make sure that everybody has the campaigns they like. Ottomans, who we want to remain strong. We want the Ottomans to remain strong. Russia, who just seem to be absolutely on the prowl here for anything. I think one day we might be butting heads with the Russians. just the way it looks like it's going to be. Oh, look at that, they're going for it. I think the Punjab might fall. Persia. It's going to hit our trade lines here. Why are you doing that, Persia? Don't make me come after you, Persia, because I will come after you. Oh, they've pulled out from there. That's a weakened force there. Portugal. Oh, that's a huge force. Ah, they're going for the New Spain. Although, well, luckily we've got a trade agreement with the Portugal, so if they take New Mexico, we'll still benefit from the trade, but that'll still be a hit there for us. Right, let's see what we've got here. Research point. Ah, excellent. Ooh, Crimean Khanate has re-emerged from under the auspices of the Russian Empire, I believe. +1 happiness, nobility. Oh, look at that. Excellent. Let's make sure we've got this absolutely working for us here. I think it's probably best if Kalapur is actually reformed naval administration, so we can get the naval college. Do we need... I think fire in advance would probably be much better, to be honest with you. No, Karka shot would be better, because that will allow us to go down to quicklime shells. Large mortar. We don't actually have any access to any howitzers, which is a bit of a shame, just mortars. So can we actually invest this here? Probably in selective breeding. Oh, spinning, I think spinning mule here. So we'll go down the economic textile industry. The military can wait here until we need to get an army council up in a couple of these regions as well. We've got 14,000 to spend. What was the income? Ooh, that's dropped a little bit, 13,585. That's actually going up. That's almost to 14,000, but it's taking its time. Who's been hit here? Austria's still been hit. Barbary States, but no one else. Of course, you've had a raid. Someone is raiding with the trade lines. That's the problem. But we need to take Mysore out. We just got to take Mysore. It's going to be a brutal fight. It's going to be an absolutely brutal fight. That army can't move at all. Right, let's invest back into the economy here. We've got to get this economy going here. The army council is 4,000. That's a huge investment there. I think we'll have army council here in Bijapur. Well, actually what we will do is just invest. Get the gunnery school. For definite, we want to move up to those 64 pounders as quickly as possible. What's the tea like here? The tea has 60 chests. I think we'll have this. We're going to invest in the economy here. We definitely want to get these spices up here. In Bengal. We really are absolutely throwing as much as we can here. The brothel will give us +4 happiness lower classes, but to be honest with you, we don't really need that at the moment. Look at that Punjab. It is absolutely at the mercy here of Persia. We might even move against Persia and reclaim these territories within our hours. But we've got a good income, a good trade with them, but still, needs must. 40,000 coming in there. That's a huge boost there. We've still got these coming on stream very soon here. One more turn here until we get the increase there. Recruitment here. I think we'll get some. I think we'll get some mercenaries. And I think, my friends, we're going to end this episode here. We're on the brink here, moving against the Mysoreans. Mysore will come under our control. We can lock this down. Look at the income then from that mining. It's going to give us a massive boost to our income. And finally, all of India, apart from Rajputana, and Sindh and Punjab, which were once ours, was going to come back under Mughal Empire control. And eventually I think what we might do then is look to maybe move against Persia. But who are their allies? Let's just make sure. Ottomans. Trats. That would be a heck for us, that would, because if the Ottomans declare war on us, we'd lose a massive trade. So it looks like we might move against, possibly move into South America to see what we can do there once we've established a strong economy here. Let's bring in a lot there for us. But my friends, hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, please keep your comments coming down below, my friends. They've been absolutely wonderful. They really have. Your comments have been absolutely incredible in all my campaigns, and particularly this one. I'd like to see some real sort of, some real plans and strategies, if you could please, my friends. Military Council, I'm calling upon you once again to really, bring out your brilliant plans, which you always do. Hope you've enjoyed this, my friends. I'm really glad to bring it back, because I really enjoy this campaign. I really do. And I hope you're having a great week thus far. Whatever you're doing, please be safe and have a great time. But until next time, my friends, bye for now.